One of the lies that we've been sold inside of the real estate space is that you just need to have more conversations. And if that was true, then everybody in real estate would be crushing it. But the reality is, if you don't have the fundamentals and the foundation, how can you build the rest of your business? And what most people, unfortunately, have been taught inside of the real estate space is to have very salesy conversations. The reality is that it's great conversations that drive conversion. Appointments don't matter if you don't have presentations. Everything breaks if you don't have those fundamental processes. And I'll explain to that as we go through. Let's jump into it. What's up? Vikram Deol here with the Trust, Rapport, Influence Sales Method, powered over here by Sheridan Street. I am really excited. You probably realized that because I was really loud. I'm really excited here to share with you a little bit about what we're doing inside of our program to help agents just like you who have been told maybe certain things that you need to be focused on instead of the right things that you should be focused on. And you've been sold some myths and some lies. And so I wanted to share with you guys my screen here, and I wanted to talk about a fundamental belief that we have. And it's that all conversion happens in great conversations. So who am I? My name's Vikram Deol. I'm one of the co-founders here of Sheridan Street. I'm the founder of the Trust, Rapport, Influence Sales Method. We call it TRIZ. I'm also a co-founder of the real estate, of a podcast called the RE Agent Podcast. We've been featured inside of Thrive, Inman, so many different places. I am a real estate agent. I am a licensed real estate broker in the state of Washington. I currently reside in Medellin, Colombia. And I share these things with you because I want you to realize that I've been in the trenches, right? Our company did, in about 6 years, we did over $250 million of sales. We were averaging with a very small team, about 50 to 60 transactions per year consistently. My first year in, I did almost $250,000 in GCI, and I didn't have a sphere of influence. I didn't grow up in Seattle. I didn't grow up in the Pacific Northwest. I grew up in a small little country town with the name of Bakersfield. I'm not sure if y'all have been to Bakersfield, but it's very country. It's very rural. I did not go to a prep school. I did not do any of that cool stuff, right? I was just a regular Joe, right? My parents sent us to boarding school in India for 2 years, right? So like, I didn't even spend like middle school or junior high school in the States. I was actually in a foreign country. And I think when you understand that one of the things that we've been told inside of business is that all you need is your sphere, I think that's a lie that people have been telling you. And I think that lie is costing us so much business because this is the 7th industry and the 9th business that I've owned. And every single business, including my dad's medical practice, my uncle's got a whole bunch of different businesses. Every single one of the businesses that any of our family has ever owned or I've been around has advertised, right? They've all had to get people that they didn't know to do business with them. And so that they would now know them and then they would refer people to them. But if we only rely on the people we know, we have a very small circle, right? Because think about the people you know versus the people you don't know. Well, the people you know is very finite. The people you don't know is very abundant. And if we're relying on the people we know, our friends, our family, we end up bugging the hell out of them. And then they start to hate us and they don't want us to show up anymore. My mom's got a friend, I'm not going to say her name. And whenever we go to a party, she's always like, "Hey, RG, when are you going to sell that house of yours? It's just you and your husband now. It's just you and Shivy in that big house. I think I looked it up online. It's like 8,000 square feet." And I'm like, lady, chill. They're not selling. And if they do sell, like, trust you me, we will do what's necessary because I know how to sell real estate to get the house sold, right? So you guys have been sold a lie, right? You guys have been told, one, that real estate's easy. Right? A lot of us got into real estate thinking that it was going to be easy. We thought that we'd have a lot of money. We thought that we'd have time flexibility. And then you get into real estate and you're like, oh my God, I work all the time. Right? But the problem with the lie number one is that we thought it was going to be easy is that we didn't do the right preparation. right? I came from a sales background. I came from the world of Cutco cutlery. And in Cutco, we had to do hundreds of presentations, right? We were doing 4 to 6, I was doing 4 to 6 presentations per day, every day. How did I get those presentations? Well, I had to pick up the phone, right? So I had to learn how to pick up the phone and talk to Mrs. Jones. She didn't want some random stranger coming over, right? So we had to learn how to have a conversation with somebody who doesn't want to actually sit down with you. It's very much similar to what a buyer thinks. A buyer doesn't want to have a conversation with you. A buyer wants to see homes, because one of the lies that we've been told, right, is that it's easy and that all we have to do is show houses and write offers and we're going to get checks. Well, that's what the consumer thinks as well, which is why most agents are actually glorified Redfin agents. And it's one of the parts that I dislike about Zillow is that Zillow, in light of all this NAR stuff, is doing these touring agreements, right? Where they're telling the consumer that you can go and meet an agent, you can look at a house, and you can have a short-term touring agreement. And that is the worst thing you can do, because it makes you a glorified Redfin showing agent. Instead, what you need to do is you need to learn the skills to book the appointment so you can have the right conversations, right? Number 2, we've been told that sales is a numbers game, right? And this leads to chasing fake deals and burnout. Because if sales is the numbers game, then if you do more work, you'll get to the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5 deals a month, right? I talked to so many agents that said, how many deals did you want to be doing when you got into the business, right? If I had my backpack here, I would show you my notes, and 80% of them said I wanted to be doing a deal a week, right? And I'm like, where did that number even come up from, right? Like, where did that number come up from? Like right here, look, I'm not going to show you the name, but look, this agent right here, they're doing 1.3 deals a month, but they want to do 3 to 4, right? They're doing 1.3, and this agent's been in the business since, just so you guys know, I take notes on everybody. She got into the business in 2018, and she's never done 2 deals a month, but this year her coach told her that she should be doing 3 to 4. Just work harder and everything's going to change. That's a lie. That's a lie. And guess what? She's frustrated, she's burnt out, and she's broke, right? Because she's not making enough money. I have a fundamental belief that most people at 2 to 3 deals a month, their life epically changes. And that's kind of where a lot of agents should be, but they're sold for, and they're not even doing 1, right? Sales is not a numbers game. Number 3, your leaders, right? Your brokers, right? Your team leads say, just go work with your SOI and work with referrals. Remember we talked about earlier, the people you know is very finite. And guess what? They know other people too. So maybe they do 1 transaction with you. Maybe they now feel like they need to do the second transaction with one of their other friends because their other friend made them feel guilty about not using them. You guys don't make people feel guilty if they don't use you. That's a great way to never get anything, right? But what happens is instability. 1 good month followed by 1 good month followed by another 1 month. Oh, we got 3. We don't need to do anything. And then 4 months, no deals. 5 months, no deals. 6 months, no deals. Happens every day, right? Your SOI and referrals should be your bonus, all right? Lie number 4, scripts make you salesy. All you need to do is build rapport. That's not true. In fact, the presentation we're utilizing right now is actually a process. It's a framework, and it's scripting to allow me to deliver the message I need to deliver in an organized, coherent, stress-free, confident manner, right? That is why every person who is on stage has presentation, right? They have a presentation because it keeps you in order. Tony Robbins, who does 12-hour docs, right? On the stage, if you've ever been to a Tony Robbins event and you're close enough to the stage, you'll actually see his slide deck, but they don't necessarily put it on the screen. They have it in front of him on the actual stage. And then during breaks, you'll see his team come out and right? They're the big 3M sheets that they tape down because he's got like 40 fans because it's so hot. Scripts do not make you salesy. The wrong scripts and the wrong delivery do, right? But if you don't have scripts, the problem is that you have no process and you don't build the trust in the prospect, which is why they give you the objections. We need to interview other agents. We'll give you a call back. We need to talk to so-and-so, right? The reason why you get these common objections is because the prospect did not have trust in you. And if the prospect doesn't have trust with you, they can't move forward with you. They need to fill that gap. And the way they fill it is, we're going to talk to some other people. We're going to go interview our daughter's boyfriend just got his license. Oh, how old's your daughter? She's 19. So you're going to go get advice on the biggest decision that you guys have from a 19-year-old, right? The reason they say that is because you, as a trusted advisor, only was not the trusted advisor part. Deep down, you might be saying, Vikram, I knew it. I knew these things I was told by the marketplace felt too good to be true, right? Focus on your sphere. Just make more numbers, make more calls, do more open houses. I knew that was too good to be true. I knew that this game was harder, and it is, right? It is. Because the truth is, most gurus and theorists who claim to grow your business tell you to focus on the things that make them money, right? Buy more leads. Did you know that a lot of the leaders out there are actually affiliates, or they're getting kickbacks, right? A lot of people are getting kickbacks from these big companies because they're promoting them from their stages. And you're going out there saying, I need to do all these things because so-and-so said to do it. But then what happens is instead of you growing your business, you're out there spinning your wheels, spending your money, and it hurts. We found that there's 4 pillars, right? There's 4 pillars that we need to think about. Let's see if we can there we go. Sometimes I know how to do tech. There's 4 pillars, all right? And if we can get these locked in, you guys are going to have a better business. But without these 4 pillars, right, you might have plateaued. You might not get to the 2 or 3 deals per month consistently, the 4 deals like our clients, Jan and Molly, Daniel, right? Ryan Markowitz, brand new in the industry, 23 years young. This year he's going to hit, he's already at 9 million in sales. And he's going to do probably 14 million, maybe 15, because he went from the $400,000 or $500,000 price point. Now he's in the 7s and the 8s. And guess what? So much of his business is coming from expireds and door knocking. And now he's getting referrals from people that he serviced at the beginning of the year because he had the right process, right? There's no way to have consistent and predictable income, right? And here's the secrets that you should have been taught, right? But nobody did, right? So whether you decide to partner with us, whether you decide to partner with somebody else, if you don't have these 4 pillars in your real estate business, you are not going to get the consistent, predictable income and the lifestyle and the time and the flexibility and the ability to do all those cool things that you see the top agents doing. You're not going to be able to do those, and you're going to stay stressed out, frustrated for more and more time, right? Now, when I first got into business, I actually had some bad information. I used to be told the same thing that you were told, right? My broker, great dude, I love him, but Roger told me you need to work harder and that sales is a number game and that I just needed to grow my SOI. And I'm like, well, Roger, you do know that my SOI was my ex-wife and our 4 mutual friends. So the 5 people I know in Seattle are now all gone. So there is no SOI. In fact, when I got into real estate full time, I lived in a client's home that he was selling. It was a short sale. And I lived in his home because he left it furnished because he was moving in California because he just got a job for Apple. And so he left the house furnished and he was doing a short sale. And because I told him that I was going through a divorce and I had no money, he's like, Vic, just stay here. I'm like, what? He's like, I've been in that situation. Just stay in my house. So I actually lived in his house for about 4 months for free. And he had a home gym that he left there. So I got to work out. And I had a barbecue and some paper plates and some plastic forks and right. And that's how I survived for the first few months. So I was told the same thing. You don't need to sit down with buyers. You just need to follow and talk about the company, right? You need to talk a lot about yourself and how great in sales you are, and then talk about this marketing plan. And it was like a sheet. And I'm telling you that if I could find my old presentation, it was like 90,000 things on one page. There was no white left. And when I looked at it, I'm like, are you sure, Roger? Because I remember when I did presentations, it was a little different. He's like, yeah, you'll be fine. And that's what I did. And we had like a 25, 30, 40% closing rate on listings. That was just because I was charismatic, right? That's just because I was a better presenter than the other people. Not because my presentation was awesome, right? So my core belief changed when I met Tony Robbins. I was a platinum partner. And when I started meeting Tony Robbins and I started meeting Sharon Srivastava and I started meeting these really high-end business mindset people, my core belief changed, and my core belief started changing that it wasn't about the grind and the hustle. It was about the systems and the processes. It was about the skills. It was about being replicatable. It was the reason why McDonald's, who doesn't have the greatest hamburger in the world, is selling so many more than our favorite hamburger shop down the street, because the favorite hamburger shop down the street is a little bit slower, they're not as consistent, and they don't have the process that McDonald's has to turn out 400 burgers a minute. And because of that, McDonald's sells more than the guys that actually are better. And it's because of their systems and processes. And a couple years later, my business partner, you'll see him right there. He's the other guy with his hands all the way up. And you see us with our team in Argentina. This is our call center team, and we flew our Canadian partners in. And we did a one-day live event, right? Because when we realized that we needed the right systems, we grew, our team grew, and our business grew. So there's 4 pillars. Pillar number 1 is trust, rapport, influence, sales method. Oh, you can see there's a typo in number 1. Number 2 is the ultimate appointment booking formula. We'll get into that in a minute. Number 3 is the $1 billion buyer and seller presentation. Number 4 is accountability. There's 3 presentations that you must have, right? There are 3 presentations that you must have. And what we're going to do is we're going to let you plug into our systems that have done billions and billions and billions of dollars for hundreds and thousands of agents all across North America, right? We're going to let you plug into our proven frameworks, our playbooks, and our formulas so that you can win in the situations where you're losing deals now in, right? You can lower the sales resistance that what you've been taught in the past to do. You can lower the sales resistance, and when you lower the sales resistance, people are going to actually want to work with you. So inside of our trust, rapport, influence, sales method, you can see we talk a lot about human psychology, how to avoid sales resistance. We talk about what triggers sales resistance. We talk about just the business, right? Like, how do you actually run your business like a business? We're going to give you the buyer, the seller, all of it, right? We're going to give you all of it. Everything has videos. It's all chunked down into short content pieces so that you can absorb it instead of like thousands and thousands of hours of content where you just are like overwhelmed. It's all broken down into little chunks so you can consume it and you can go back and watch what you need. You can see people that come in, stand out, be the trusted advisor, not a typical salesperson. Christy's been in the business for 12 years. She's never heard that. Connect with people, slow down, clarify, create a long-term relationships, getting on the phone to build a relationship and start making a call, and get people to qualify for the dividends. Watch your tone, right? The goal is to not qualify, but to connect on a deeper level. You can see what we do here is much different, right? We talk about what triggers sales resistance. A lot of people talk about the right things to say, but has anybody taught you what not to say? Probably not. That could be a little problematic, right? Joe Collins, I've just started and I've already learned so much. It's changing the way I approach both buyers and sellers. Knowing how to deep down listen and phrase my words is making me a better and more productive agent and gives my clients value as a true professional. She's been in the industry for 12 years, I believe. She's not new to this game, but again, nobody shares these things with people, right? So we're going to teach you the ultimate appointment booking formula. The ultimate appointment booking formula is going to allow you to stop qualifying people and start learning how to meet with them, because nothing actually happens until you're belly to belly with Mr. and Mrs. Jones. And I don't want you to meet Mr. and Mrs. Jones, right? I don't want you to meet them at the house. I want you to meet them like a professional at the coffee shop or at your office or at their home prior to the meeting, right? Because 96% of agents, they don't actually ask for an appointment, right? They offer 3 things, right? 96% of agents offer 3 things, all right? They offer to run and open the door for you. Yeah, let me go and get that door open for you. That's what Redfin does. Number 2 is they send you to a lender. Hey, are you pre-qualified yet? No, let me do this. I'll send you to my loan officer. And then once you're qualified, I'm going to also send you on a drip. And once you see some houses you like, call me. That's a broken process, right? That's a broken process in 2024. So what we're going to teach you is how to have trust-based openers. We're going to teach you to probe and clarify to get the real reason why the person is on the phone. What's their real motivation? Not the surface level, like their true motivation. We're going to help you get what's called the OAG, the overarching goal. And number 4 is we're going to teach you the game plan frame so that you can actually book in live appointments to sit down and have a consultation and strategize before showing. Because showing is step 2 of the process. Strategizing is step 1. Getting pre-approved, you don't even know if they're ready to get pre-approved yet because you haven't strategized. That step, wait a minute, hold on, slow down. If we don't book the appointment, we're not going to make the sale. Pillar number 3 is the 7-figure buyer consultation and the 7-figure listing presentation. Now, the biggest problem that agents have is they don't know how to book appointments and they don't want to book appointments because when they're on an appointment, they don't have a buyer or a listing presentation. So we're going to unpack everything for you inside of our listing and buyer presentation, right? These presentations took me from 30-40% close ratio, which isn't bad, right? But 3 out of 10 isn't super great. That means I have to work really hard to get more business to 85-90%. It also allowed my team that was doing 20% closing ratios to go to a 70% closing ratio, right? So team leaders, if you don't have this, it's costing you money. Individuals, if you don't have this, it's costing you money. So we're going to teach you how to prep, right? How to get open house signings. We're going to teach you how to write winning offers. We're going to teach you how to pre-frame, right? How to start pre-framing, getting reviews. And then we're going to go into every single step. How to open the conversation, right? So many agents we work with spend 15 minutes talking about like what the client likes. And then 20 minutes into it, the client's like, hey, I only have about 35 minutes. So we're going to need to wrap this up here pretty quick. And they look at their watch because they're bored, because they don't want to talk to you about the weather and the sports, right? So we're going to teach you exactly how to open the conversation. We're going to teach you exactly what to save post-NAR. We're going to teach you how to talk about buyer compensation, the 3 pricing strategies. We're going to teach you about the 4 compensation strategies. We're going to talk about the seller's universe. We're going to talk about contract to close. We're going to teach you how to strategize with them inside of the office on offers so that when you're writing offers, they know what to do, right? All of that stuff we have to learn as agents. Then we have to learn how to do a listing presentation, the $1 billion listing presentation. The buyer presentation I've been doing with my good friend Sharon Srivastava, the sitting president of Real. He's been a friend of mine and a mentor of mine, and he's helped me with these. And we've been able to tap into his frameworks and put our frameworks on top of it to just build something that is insanely productive for you. Right? So we're going to teach you how to talk about your brokerage or your team for 30 seconds instead of 5 minutes. We're going to teach you how to get an overarching goal, how to talk about the calendar. We're going to teach you about when to talk about pricing, how to start the process. Because if you go and look at a home, you're like every other agent. If you don't know how to strategize before touring, you're like every other agent. If you don't know how to strategize pricing before you talk about pricing, right? Because the list price is just an invitation to the party. If you don't know how to say those things, you're stuck. If you don't know how to use the buyer's NAR lawsuit to your advantage as an agent and then possibly even get a bonus because nobody taught you, it's not your problem, but it is, right? It's not your fault, but it is your problem. If nobody talked about the buyer universe, the listing launch process, right? If nobody's talked about the integrated marketing machine, if nobody's taught you that, you are going to sound like every other agent. And if you don't know the right tonality, the right pace, and the right verbal cues, if you don't know how to use the problem, solution, what's in it for them framework, you're going to get stuck. And so we're going to teach you all of that inside of our program. And number 4 is accountability. Our team is actually going to reach out to you and hold you accountable to the goals you tell us, right? You can see right here in the left, hey, Rockstar, it's Luisa from Vic's team. You scored an A last week, right? Your score for the last 2 weeks was an A on Mighty Networks, which means you visited the portal at least once a day, right? Some people are doing it more. We're proud of your commitment to growth, right? Becca, she said, I haven't heard this anywhere. You can find on YouTube, right? The reason we hold you accountable to your effort, we reward effort, not results. I know that if you go through the training, I know that if you do the calls, I know that if you learn the buyer and seller presentation, I know if you learn the ultimate appointment booking formula, I know that if you do those 3 things, you don't need anything else in your business. Now, we're going to teach you open house expireds, door knocking, circle prospecting. We're going to teach you how to promote your listings. We're going to teach you how to maximize your listings to get more. We're going to teach you about open house strategies so that you can book appointments from the open house. We're going to teach you all of that stuff, but none of it matters if you don't know how to book an appointment and you don't have a buyer and seller presentation. None of the social media stuff out there matters if you're on a roller coaster of emotions, right? Hey, here's our time reminders, right? We're going to send you emails and reminders about when our live call sessions are so that you never miss a beat, because real estate's busy, right? And I just wanted to finish this off with a quick testimonial. Actually, you're not going to be able to see it because I'm inside of a different platform. So we'll send you this quick testimonial, but I wanted to share with you a little bit about what our clients are doing, why our clients are winning, why we're seeing such quick results within our program. Because if you don't have the fundamentals and the foundation, how can you build the rest of your business? Leads don't matter if you don't know what to say. Appointments don't matter if you don't have presentations, right? Everything breaks if you don't have those 3 fundamental processes. How to book appointments, the ultimate, right, appointment booking formula. What to say in a buyer consultation, especially now post-NAR, it's harder than it's ever been. And if you don't have you don't have a listing presentation, if you don't have those 3 things, everything breaks. Everything breaks. So this is what our people are going to go with, to go into deeper with you, is kind of see like what those gaps are in your business. What do you need? What do you want? How much do you want to grow? How fast do you want to grow? But without the TRIZ, the trust, rapport, influence, sales method, everything breaks. Everything breaks if you don't have the trust, rapport, influence, sales method, TRIZ. Everything breaks. If you don't understand the human psychology, if you don't know how to disarm, humanize, isolate, and solve objections, if you don't know how to take the problem the prospect has, find your solution, and then show them what's in it for them, if you don't know how to do those basic things inside of a buyer and a listing presentation, what's going to happen is that you're not going to have the consistency, you're not going to have the business, you're not going to have the confidence, and you're going to go another 6 months, another 12 months, another 18 months, chasing, because you don't need leads until you have those set up. So I appreciate you guys. Our team's going to rock with you, and we'll see you soon.